Okay. Alright, I'm back in. Oh, no, there we are. Okay, I think I should be good. I think I've got everything. Lovely. Fabulous. Alright. Hello, everyone. I am back after I say hiatus. It's not at all a hiatus. It's literally just, I just didn't stream for a week. Feels like longer though. Feels like I've been out for a long time. But I am back, and I'm in for another day of Naruto goodness, which we are gonna get straight on into. And yeah, nothing else to it really. I've got hella updates, and just general goodness for y'all. But yeah, we just gonna get straight into it. I mean, my roll call today is gonna be very minimal. It's just gonna be a cup of tea. Well, hello, welcome. I is back. I've got my lovely 2 big cups of water to come sustain me. But yes, oh, how art thou? I hope you are doing well. I may be a little bit muted, diminutive, low energy. So I do apologize in advance. I'm just gonna lower the volume down on this. Working overtime, oh goodness. But no, good. Good, I say not good that you're working overtime, good that you're leaving now. But no, that is alright. Yeah, there's no pressure to come back, no pressure at all to come back, but no, I hope you get a good rest tonight. Yeah. Oh, and the same thing, girl. Hello, how are you? I am well, I think. Yeah, but no, how are things back home? Has everything returned to normal-ish? And Michael Rich, what up? Oh my goodness, everyone's here. The gang's all here. Yes, I have finally emerged from my I mean, I don't want to be doom and gloom. It's like no dramas have happened at all. But I've just been in one of those slumps that you get into. But I think out. I think it's almost the weekend, so we'll see how it is. But no, yeah. Kaze and Han as well. Silver lining though, we're almost halfway. We're 144 fights from 142 fights away from halfway through this, so at least there's that. We're still on water restrictions. Oh goodness. Well, the news at least is, you know, we haven't been seeing as much stuff on the news about it, which I say is a good thing in the sense that even like the news just can't find anything more to say about it. I think when I was talking to Mum last, she was saying that, you know, the news is like, oh my god, there's mass evacuations happening, and like it was literally like 3 people, just like their backyard flooded a little bit, so they had to move out of the house. It's like mass evacuations. Yeah. But I hope, I'm glad that you and the fam were relatively unscathed. Yeah. Oh, now that was it. So, is it since? Yeah, it's almost like just a little leak. Oh, that's good. Well, at least it was just a little leak. Yeah, I know. The boys? A friend of the boys' dad was saying that they were like there are whole houses out in the country like buried underneath silt. Like they're like digging through the silt with machines, and like they hit something hard. They're like, "What the hell's that?" And they're like, "Oh my god, it's a roof!" Like what the hell? Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's right. And I can't remember. I feel like it was later than that, but what's it? Because wasn't there? Oh no, that's right. I was talking to someone. They were saying that the only water pipe in that can bring the water into town's busted for like another year or something like that. Yeah, and then I know that the forestry industry is getting like blasted essentially because all of the slash and the debris that they're leaving from all the forestry blocks is now that it's getting washed up everywhere else. They're now like they're thinking that they might put a bit more restrictions on the forestry things to you know, clean your stuff up when you guys move to your next block, rather than just leaving all the little twigs and branches and everything that then now are clogging up all the bridges and even taking whole bridges out. It's just, yeah, it's if anything, it's just shown how little care and work has been put into infrastructures, like basic infrastructure. And then now that you've got like a big, you know, cyclone taking everything out, you're just like, oh, we actually have like bugger all. Keeping this place afloat. Yeah. No, it's council, they would rather have, you know, pettier fights over which catering company to pick for their morning teas, rather than making sure that the town doesn't get suddenly taken out one fell swoop from a cyclone. You know, it's I've just in my old age, as I age, I get more and more critical of, you know, people in positions of authority. Not in the sense of like policemen and firefighters and, you know, that stuff. Like, you guys do you, but like councils, CEOs, that sort of thing. I'm just like, you literally have like the money to fix stuff, but you don't, and you totes should. Because I was just reading back about the well, actually I was watching a video about the flag referendum that we had back in like 2016, 2017. $26 million spent on this basic, you know, do we change our flag or not? $26 million spent that could have gone literally anywhere else and would have had far more of an impact, you know, far more of a benefit to society than holding a giant flag referendum that we ended up just keeping the same flag anyway. I swear. Now, this isn't a law fight, but it is a husband and wife fight, even though they're not husband and wife at this stage. So I wonder if they're still going to have like special ultimate finishing cut-in images. I'm guessing they're not. But God, that cup of tea is refreshing. Goodness. I've got the temperature on it just right. Anyway. Oh, that was it. I feel like I had something in my brain about Naruto, and I just remembered what it was. Because the Naruto, it's not Ultimate Ninja Storm 5, it's Ultimate Ninja Boruto. No, Naruto X Boruto Ultimate Storm Connections got announced, which is, and I think I'm a little bit skeptical because it literally just looks like they've just copy and pasted all of the original of the other four Storm games together. They've just stitched them, merged the PDFs, so to speak, and just called that a new game. And I'm like, have you done anything else to it? Have you done anything else? Or is it literally just, you just copy and pasted everything? So, I'm kind of like, deep down in the core of my being, I'm disappointed. Deep down in the core of my being. I feel bad for being disappointed. It's weird, I feel bad for being disappointed. I didn't even know that that was possible. I feel like I shouldn't be disappointed about this, but I am. And yeah. But yeah. Oh, Sadias, hello! Welcome on in. I is back from, I wouldn't even call it hiatus. Mental health leave? I don't know, it's something. Anyway, but no, I'm back. I'm back and into it. But yeah, no, the yeah, Michael Rich, like, part of me's wondering, like, thinking if it's literally just a merged PDF of Storm 1 to 4, do I get it? Because the only reason I would buy it is if it was an easy platinum, like if I bought it on PS5, if I bought a PS5 and it was an easy platinum, I'd get it for the platinum trophy. But if it's literally nothing else has been changed about it, it's just the same as playing Storm 1, 2, 3, and 4. It just takes less loading times between games, maybe. You don't have to go and change your disc. Yeah. And then Naruto Red. I know I need to take as long as I can, but I also at the same time was like, I was desperately missing streaming. Partly because I really desperately miss like Cold Steel 2 and East 2, and I'm like, god damn, I want to play those games. I want to play those games so bad, so I'm gonna, like, I need a stream to be able to play them. But no, so yeah, no, I think it was just because I'd had not this week, just gone last week. We had a work conference on flew up Tuesday afternoon, and then all Wednesday, all Thursday, flew back Thursday night, like 15 hour days. Which it was interesting, it was fun. It was very much, yeah, and I kind of like, I think that sort of just was the tipping point, and then I got back on Thursday night, Friday, I'm just like, nope, I'm just not having a good time. And, yeah, but I've recovered. I've been playing, the Theatre Rhythm Final Fantasy game, Final Byline. I've been playing that the last, over the weekend, and I'm loving it. It's definitely, I've seen a lot of people online saying it's just really helps them sort of calm down when they've had like a stressful day, and it is. As I'd say, it's like probably a big contributing factor into me getting over my slump. It's just a really pleasant game, even more so if you're a Final Fantasy fan. But yeah, but no. So been doing that, and Final Fantasy 16 news has also sparked joy within me, in my deep in my soul, hearing the absolute rave previews of like 2 hours of gameplay have given some people. FF16 is just sending my hype to like not even the stratosphere, not even outer space, to literally like another galaxy. That's what it's doing. And they always say never get so hyped for something because you'll always be disappointed, but I'm like, no, I will not be disappointed with this game unless the ending is really just like rubbish. But even then, they'd have to try really hard to F up the ending. But yeah, so there's been lots to be happy about the last couple of weeks. Oh, and more importantly than all of that, I hope y'all have been keeping well, keeping safe, keeping hydrated, and yeah. In fact, actually, no. I need to unpack the conference. Because it is. I'm having like this inner struggle between, deep in my soul, about I don't want to say corporate stuff because it's not quite fully accurate, but and essentially this conference is like a digital workplace thing. So it's people from all around the country, mostly Auckland. You know, they're just they had, I think it's a lot smaller than I realised, but there was only about 7 or 8 vendors in the exhibitors hall, so that we were one of them. So that was my main job there, was to help man the booth and talk to people as they came up. But then they had all these talks on throughout the day, throughout the Wednesday and Thursday. My boss did one which I went to, and it was fab. It was easily one of the best of the lot. And that's not even coming from a biased perspective either. It just was. Anyway, so there's all this stuff and blah blah blah, and then they're like a networking event on the Wednesday night, which is literally just exactly the same as during the day, except there's alcohol provided. And yeah, so like it's sort of, we get there Tuesday night. For dinner I have an ice cream because we had something. Oh no, on the flight there, because my boss is there's a thing called like the Koru Lounge, which is you pay some exorbitant bloody fee a year, like $900 a year, but you get access to this lounge that you can lounge in at the airports, and it's food, like as much food as you can eat, as much drink as you want, it's wild. So we had like a huge lunch there, so I wasn't too hungry for tea. But anyway, so Tuesday night, having ice cream for dinner. My boss forced me, well, she didn't force me, she strongly encouraged me to get room service for breakfast. So I did, and that was, it was quite a big breakfast. I thought I'd be able to eat it all, but I didn't. It was a plate of seasonal fruit, which they gave you quite a lot. A bowl, and a bowl of cereal with milk, or your choice if you want milk. And I shouldn't have got the all brand one because that was so filling. And then you could have had a bowl of yogurt as well, but I said no to the yogurt. And then there's another thing as well. Oh, a hot beverage and a cold beverage too if you want. And then 4 slices of toast or 4 bakery items, e.g. any kind of mix of English muffins, croissants, muffins, or something else. Anyway, so I got 3 English muffins and a croissant, which ended up being a pain au chocolat anyway, so I'm like, this ain't even a croissant. But anyway, I digress. So I only ate half of the cereal and the fruit, and then that was pretty much me. So I stashed the rest of my bag to bring down to the exhibition hall. And yeah, so then that morning we started at got up at about 6 o'clock. Doing other work for other clients in the hotel room, as we waited for the exhibition hall to open at 7 so we could go in and set up our booth. So we went in, set up our booth, conference starts, people start milling around, so they come up and chatting to them, blah blah blah. Go to some of the talks, we then have lunch, which was, now I don't know if there's any vegetarians or non-meat eaters here, but if we're all meat eaters and we all love eating meat, then you will understand my pain, because you start at one end of the table, you're like, great, we've got salad and bread rolls, okay, good, right, all lunch spreads start with your big bowl of rolls and bread, and then you move on to your salads, and then you move on to your fancy salads like your orzo with sun-dried tomatoes and macadamia pesto, blah blah blah. That's all good. So then I get to the main bits of me lunch, and we've got teriyaki salmon. We had a sesame rice before that. So it's just an allergen filled lunch. Not that I'm allergic to any of that, but just saying. And then so yes, teriyaki salmon. So I'm like, okay, I'd like salmon-ish. I'm not particularly fond so much on the teriyaki flavor, but okay, I'll move on to the next one. Oh, what is this? Like a little braised beef stew? No, it's tofu with and like a black bean sauce or something with broccoli, and I'm like, oh, okay, move on. Oh wait, no, I can't move on. That's literally all there is for lunch. And I'm like, where's the meat? Where's the meat? Where's the lamb? Where's the steak? Where's the pork? Where's just a piece of chicken? Just give me a piece of chicken, for God's sake. And it was just like, ugh. So I'm just like, okay, this is sad. So when I grabbed, I think I eventually managed to finish my teriyaki salmon. But then later on, I'm like, oh wait, that's right, because this is a fancy event. We're in a fancy hotel. So then they brought all these canapes, and it was like pork belly. But it was the most saddest, like you want a portion size like that big, like a cube like that big? Yeah, go wild. Have your fucking minuscule cube of pork belly. And then they did have some fried chicken though. I say fried chicken, little fried chicken bites, again like that small, so I had like 50 of them to make up one decent portion. And this was at like 5 o'clock in the evening. So anyway, so we do the networking event. It's just all these talks are just it's a bit hypocritical's not the word, ironic that I'm in a job and a business that's all, deals with CEOs and, executive leadership teams and all these sorts of hullapalooza, and yet I just think a lot of what they say is not, BS is a harsh term, but I feel like they're just having to say all this stuff to make up for the fact that they need to try and justify why they have a job. Or it's just so like fluffy nonsense. It's just I don't know. My boss's talk though, on the other hand, was of substance, so I'll give her that. It was actually entertaining and engaging. We actually had to do like jigsaw puzzles and stuff. It was basically like to mock up a scenario of how you can sort of manage a project, but when your team's like, some people are working from home, some people are in the office, suddenly you've got all these things happening. You know, how do you keep managing? You know, how do you effectively manage a project? And then all the other talks were like, you know, how to, you know, when you're implementing an IT project, how do you change adoption? And it's like literally they just typed in change adoption on Google, got the first 10 articles, and basically just ripped shit from that. It's the same thing. Like there was only a few that I went to that I actually like learned something that I had never seen before, but a lot of it was just. Anyway, I'm being super negative, but I was very exasperated by it all. That being said, though, there was one guy who was he was like a chief brand officer for this big global software that you use for Microsoft 365 stuff. He was utterly fantastic. You can tell he was from the States. He'd come from the States. And you can just tell he's at a level, he's at a caliber far above everyone else in that room. Like his presentation that he did, I went to at the end of the second day. He did one about like how to be a really, really good presenter, or you know, when you're giving a talk, how, you know, what are some sort of like good tips and tricks and like top 5 steps to be a good one. And it was incredible. He was a great presenter. So you feel like you can learn from him. So he actually did a really, really good one. I went to one talk, and it was my boss told me to go to it. It was one around productivity. I'm like, what are you trying to say? But she knows I'm trying to sort of find strategies to sort of manage I get really easily anxious at work. Very easily overwhelmed. So anyway, so she thought it might help, and I thought it might help too. But again, top 10 Google search results. Literally everything there was something that everyone in that room had already heard about. And you know, when you go to a talk about anything really, but around productivity specifically, you're hoping that the talk is going to be, say, right, here's this amazing technique to help you do this. Here's how you do it. These are the benefits of it. Here's things to be aware of. You're expecting like that sort of stuff, not like, here's the there's a great thing I learned about the Pomodoro technique, which is I think you do like 25 minutes of work and then 5-minute break, and you just repeat that like as a cycle. And then you say, all right, here's the Pomodoro technique. Anyway, moving on, and it's just like, what about it? Like, are you saying it's good? Are you saying it's bad? Do you give any opinion on it? Or are you just literally just saying, oh yeah, this is a thing that exists? Anyway, moving on. You're like, if you want to plan your day out, just block out time on your calendar. Great. Sure. Is that just going to magically fix my problems? Because I've done that, and it don't magically fix my problem. Again, I'm being negative when I probably shouldn't need to be, but... And then, at the end of it, I'm like, okay, this is why you're keeping everything so surface level. It's because, at the very end, if you want to know more, sign up for my 10-week course on productivity. I'm like, for God's sake. So basically, you're not going to give us any good information. You're just going to keep that all for when we pay you money to go on your course. I understand. I get it. I understand completely. Anyway, so that was that. But anyway, it's just at the end of it all, I just felt that there was a lot of, and even after the conference on that day, after the networking event, me and my boss and another of the people that came up with us, we went out just to like a burger place for dinner. We just want some simple food, and then me and my boss went out for, there's like a fancy ice cream place that I really wanted to go to. So and she was keen to go, so we went, and she was talking on the way, and she kind of sort of said that there was a lot of fake smiling coming from her with certain people that were at this conference that she doesn't particularly mesh with quite well. And I'm like, to be honest, 60% of the smiles in that room would have been fake. You could just, there's some people where you just, I don't know, it's just a whole lot of corporate BS going on, swirling around that room. And yeah, anyway, second day, things markedly improved on the food front. Yeah, markedly improved. Yeah. You're a bank teller? Oh my goodness. How is that? Not that like I don't want to say not that I've ever want to be a bank teller, but like I'm just curious what that's like. Because my job is, I mean, it's enjoyable. The only thing that I really dislike about my job is when you deal with some real asshole clients who are just really pedantic, really particular. You're trying to say, look, well, literally what I'm recommending to you right now is the best thing for you in the business, and they're like, nah, costs too much money. I want you to, we want to do it this way, and I'm like, but that way is going to be really, really bad for you, and they're like, I don't care, want it this way. I'm like, So then we have to like ask as a business, do we want to put our names against something that we don't agree with? All that sort of stuff. Anyway, second day, largely the same, same sort of stuff. But the lunch, I'm like, okay, lunch, come on, don't let me down for a second time. I get out, okay, bread rolls, okay, good. Salad, alright, less tomatoes in this one, and that's good because I don't particularly like raw tomatoes, fabulous. Move along. What's this? A whole tray full of mashed potatoes with peas and herbs and cheese and butter. Oh, so I'm like, 2 giant scoops of that, plonk. Next, was, what was the other main? It was like a chickpea curry tagine thing. And I don't dislike chickpeas. So I'm like, okay, that's good. But I will give the last tray one more hope. I looked over. Slow cooked lamb shoulder. Oh, there was so much of it. I'm like, oh my lordy, yes, finally we have a decent amount of meat. My god, my heart sung. That was literally, not even kidding, the highlight of the whole thing was that they had mashed potato and lamb. Oh no, and that's right, because again, we need to remember we're in a fancy hotel, so it's not mashed potato, it's hot crushed potato. Who the hell calls it hot crushed potato? Just call it mashed. Be a normal person, for goodness sake. Like, I understand you're trying to be fancy, but my god. Hot crushed potato. Oh, anyway, it was delicious. I even went back for seconds. Like, no one was going back for seconds. I'm like, catch you guys later. I'm going back for like seconds, third, fourth, fifths. Does no one else want this lamb? Great, because I'm going to take it all. Like, my god, it was amazing. I'm like, I could have just sat there for the whole rest of the afternoon just eating all the food. It's beautiful. Anyway, so that was the conference. I got back home at about 9 o'clock, 9:15 in the evening. I was absolutely shattered. And then I think that just kind of just like tipped me over the mental edge, I think, as well. Because we had work again, like straight away into work early the next day, so it was just it was a thing. But yeah, so the conference, just a whole, I did learn a lot. It was very valuable for me, but part of me just feels like it was just a little bit too much nonsense floating around. Like, I need to do a talk about something, so I'll just hastily throw together some stuff and call it a day. Anyway, rant / explanation / recap complete. I think. Don't think I've missed anything. No. We did actually no. Only other thing. We had at our stall, or our booth, should I say. We brought a whole bunch of pens and notebooks with us. We had like 200 notebooks we had to get rid of. But the great thing is everyone who goes to those conferences just literally just goes and checks who's got all the free stuff and just nabs free stuff. We also managed to find orange chocolate, the Lindor chocolate ball things and wrapper stuff. So we had a bowl of them right on the thing. The amount of people that came up literally just to grab the chocolate, kind of like look up at our signages like, and then walk off. It's like, yep, cool. Hope the chocolate's nice. Just, is that all you wanted? Like, okay, cool, whatevs. And then we even had some people, and there was one time I almost laughed out loud, but didn't. Held it. People coming up, looking straight down at the chocolate bowl, grab a couple of chocolates, and then kind of like turn and walk away. But you can tell they're thinking, please don't talk to me, please don't talk to me, please don't try and start a conversation, please just like pretend I'm not here, I'm literally just grabbing chocolates, don't bother me, I'm like, I don't want your business, I just want your chocolates. Like, they would have like ran away if we had started to talk to them. And I kind of had to just chuckle because I'm like, bruh, if you just want the chocolate, it's all good. You just have to say, I'm only here for the chocolate. We're not gonna like say, nah, sorry, we have to talk to you now. But it's just like they were so, what's the word? Like, obviously so socially awkward, for one. But they were like fully giving like the side eye the whole time in a very like trying to keep an eye on me so I don't notice them and start a conversation kind of look. I don't know. I'm not just explaining it very well, but I thought it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah. I mean, we ended up just throwing the chocolates at people by the end of it, like, because by the end of the conference, everyone just kind of just wanted to get rid of the stuff that they had brought with them. So we were just like, please, just take like 50 notebooks. Like, there you go, here's 50 notebooks. You want pens? Here's like a pen for every single person in your team. Go, take them. This was like throwing chocolates at people, not actually, but you know, that sort of thing. So it was yeah, it was an interesting one. Weirdly enough, because I never would have ever thought I'd hear myself say it at all. I'm really, if they've got the same conference next year, I'm totally wanting to go and do a talk. Like, I would absolutely love to do a talk about, and maybe it's some kind of like conceited side of me that is like, right, come on guys, I'm going to show you what actual talk's like. I'm going to show y'all how it's done. I'm going to talk about something of substance. You're going to learn some stuff. Maybe it's coming from that sort of place inside me, but yeah. But then it's weird at the same time, because me being the introverted shy person that I am, would have rather just like blended into the walls behind them, rather than do anything in the spotlight. But I'm actually keen to do a talk. It's weird. That's weird. But yeah. But anyway, that is my conference story over. If I remember any other details I've forgotten, I'll let y'all know. It was, and thankfully by the end of it, that media recap actually featured meat in it. Because at the start, I was scared that it wasn't going to have any meat, or if it was just going to be some pathetic piece of pork belly that's like who is this portion for? Is it for like a 3-year-old? Because that's literally, you know, it's so small that even a 3-year-old would say it's too small. It was just, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. problem we also... Now, we weren't disingenuous. Actually, no, we actually kind of were. We kind of not lied by omission. No, I'm leading the story completely wrong. No, I needed no. So basically, what we did as part of our thing was at this conferences, you know, come talk to us if you want, and if you put your name in this app that we had built, if you put your details in there, we'll draw a lucky winner at the end of the conference, and whoever wins gets a free discovery session with us. And a discovery is essentially we go to you guys for like an hour, 2 hours, generally 2 hours, sit with y'all, and we say, right, what are your problems? Tell us about your world. What's going on? What isn't working in terms of our like process, Microsoft 365, you know, whatever it is. You know, we can sort of show how other people have done things or how we could help, and just all that sort of thing. Basically discovering about them and their problems, and also discovering what might be possible for them. So we said, you know, you get a free one of those, because otherwise it's a paid engagement. It's, you know, it's a few grains worth of work. So you go and draw to win a free one. So we, you know, trained to people. We had about 9 people put stuff in the parrot, which is both less and more than I thought. But anyway, so then me and my boss, we were going through the people afterwards, and we basically said, we're looking at these, and I think deep down in our heart of hearts, if there were like some of them, if we randomly drew them, we would kind of be like, let's just rerun that one again. Oh look, we got someone's random draw. You know, yeah. So basically, long story short, there were 3 people, 3 businesses that we, like, thinking back to the discussions we had with the person at the conference. They like piqued our interest. We're like, we would actually be super keen to help them with that sort of thing. And also, you kind of get over time, you kind of get a feel just from the person that you're dealing with, or even just hearing them talk about the issue. You can kind of get a feel for whether it's just going to be it's going to be a battle of attrition by the end of it, because either they're not engaged in it at all, or it's just going to be a nightmare trying to convince them to do anything. And then there's others that you're like, they will be open to possibility to change, and they'll just be easy to work with. You kind of just get a feel. Anyway, so 3 people that were like, we totally want to carry on the conversation with them. Well, technically we want to carry on the conversation with all of them, but there were 3 that we definitely wanted to give a free discovery to, because we would actually get a lot of value out of the discovery. Like, we'd actually gain a lot of traction with it, whereas the others are just too big a beast. It would just, you'd only scratch the surface in 2 hours, so wouldn't really get the value. Yeah, so we, rather than 1 winner, there were 3 winners, but the way we worded the email to them was that, oh, you're the lucky winner, like, but we're not going to tell you that there's also 2 other lucky winners. And then everyone else, oh, really sorry, but you didn't get randomly selected, so them's the breaks. But we're still keen to chat with you, and carry this conversation on, but the discovery would be paid. So that was that. Yeah, so yeah, it's about as randomly selecting who to pick next. Yes, kind of technically. It's, I would say, with who I'm picking in the fights, it is sort of randomly generated to get the matchups, but yeah, in essence, it's not a random selection, or we fully just picked who we wanted to. We just picked who we wanted to win it. Yeah, because there was one that was just like, you can just tell that the project that could potentially have come out of the conversation would be like 2 years, 2-3 years long, and just really, and you'd be dealing with so many people on their side, and it would just be an absolute slog. Like, it'd be interesting, it'd be fun, but it would just be an absolute slog the whole way through, whereas there's others which are just super quick wins, or you know, it's hard to explain, but yeah. It's kind of like when you put a song on shuffle, and then you get a song, you're just like, no, shuffle again, and I'm not feeling that one, shuffle it. You just get a feel. It's kind of like that, but with clients, you kind of get a feel for who's going to be the no, skip to the next one kind of things. You sort of learn by experience a little bit in that sense. Yeah. So that was the other outcome of Lee, the thing. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. For goodness lady. There we go. Yeah, and then, of course, all the way through things, we're getting, I mean, I actually forgot to put my out of office on. I should have put my out of office on. But I was so scared that someone would send through something urgent that I'd need to address. I don't want to put my out of office on during the conference, so at the airport and in the mornings and in the evenings and in any break I could get, we were like, I think all of us were, just like furiously typing away and emailing and doing things last minute. Yeah, it was just a very hectic thing. Very, very hectic 2 days. And just completely and utterly mentally draining. Yeah. Yeah, but then I come back to a delivery at work of my Ezio container that I'd bought, because I'd been trying desperately to convince the boy to, rather than buy like kg yogurt tubs at the supermarket, we're going to invest in an Ezio maker. And he's like, what the hell's Ezio? I'm like, why only the greatest invention known to man? Where, if you don't know what it is, it's basically, it's a New Zealand invention, so like, you know, supporting local, I guess. But it's but basically you buy these essentially sachet powders for like $5. And it's like yogurt powders, and you get the canister, you put some water in, just normal tap water, put the or I say tap water, I don't know about the quality of tap water everywhere else, but normal water. Put some normal water in, you put your sachet in, mix it around, shake it around, and then in this bigger canister you fill up to a particular point with boiling water. You pop your little canister in, screw on the lid, 8 to 12 hours later you got yogurt. Like literally you got yogurt. And the yogurt sachets that they give you are technically healthier than normal yogurt. like the normal yogurt, the pre-made yogurt that you'd get. So I convinced the boy, I'm like, bro, we're gonna get Ezio. Like the yogurt sachets that we get, or the yogurt tubs that we get, sort of they're getting more and more and more expensive as time goes on. So it's almost like $7.50 at the moment for a kilo of yogurt. But if we get the sachets, we're sort of getting like $4 to $5 for the same amount. So would I rather spend $4 or $7? I know which one I'd rather spend. So I calculated that the amount of yogurt that we're going to eat this year, we're going to save like $140, which isn't much, but that's just on one food item. So I'm like, great, that can fuel another game. That That's just gonna pay for Tears of the Kingdom in May. It's gonna be great. But yeah, no, it's or pay for all the boys' steaks, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So I came back to my Ezio container. I came back to what did I come back to? Final Fantasy 16 news. Yeah, came back to a lot. Yeah, I say, yeah, busy in a work sense, and then outside of work, just sitting, just marinating. Marinating? No, that makes it sound like it's gross. Like I'm like greasy. Like, ruminating on life and life, the universe, and everything. Yeah. Pretty much. I think that's. I don't believe there's literally any other updates at all. I feel like, is there something? No, literally nothing. We found out that I found out today that the oh really? Oh dang, I didn't even realize the tuning exams was that much of a the show. Huh, interesting. Oh yeah, so okay, so it started the Sasuke retrieval arc. Yeah. But no, hey, leaving on a cliffhanger like that isn't a bad thing. Builds up excitement for what the end will be, and all the fights that you have to look for while he doesn't, unless he knows. Well, he might not, but all the fights that he's gonna get during the Sasuke retrieval arc, they're all good ones. They're all good bangers. Just playing as Tamari. Yeah, because then actually, now think about it, after that, that's pretty much the end, isn't it? It's got like I think there's like a couple of filler stuff that they did right at the end, just some bonus features. But beyond that, that's pretty much it. They get back, Naruto's like, yeah, Sasuke may have whooped my ass, but for God's sake, I'm all bandaged up and look like I've been severely hospitalized forever, but I'm gonna do it. And then Sakura's like, yo, Tsunade, what up? Do you wanna like teach me some stuff? And Tsunade's like, okay, I guess. Sure thing. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's pretty much it. Goodness. Oh, that's right. No, and then because then they've got like the filler stuff. Oh, what was the thing about the bug? That like, it must be. I think it's after that where they have the filler. They had the filler about Shino and his clan's like, yo, there's like a super rare bug that if we grab this bug and we give it a waft of Sasuke's clothes, I don't know, something, it's gonna it will literally track him down. And then Naruto balls it up. it up. Yeah. That's right, yeah, 'cause it's that sort of filler stuff. And it's Tsunade, I hate it. Well, let's just say that the three Sanin all have their, well, Orochimaru also than the other two, but the Jiraiya has his quirks as well. I would say though, Tsunade probably gets the least badass. Oh, no, actually no, Orochimaru doesn't really have any badass stuff either. Jiraiya does get the badass treatment the most out of them all, I would say. And to be honest, I think because, like, at the end of the day, Tsunade, the Hokage job is literally, you're just a CEO. So it's just a F ton of paperwork and not much else. Tsunade's probably the only one that's like, yeah, no, I'll do it. It's like, knowing that that's, that's not all there is to it, but practically what there is. But yeah, no. Seeing as you're done with the tuning exams arc, overall, what's your kind of like out of 10? How would you rate the tuning exams arc compared to? Let's just say compared to everything else. Naruto Shippuden, Boruto, anything. Actually, no. Don't even need to compare it. Just on its own merits, 1 out of 10. Sorry, on its own merits, out of 10. It's not 1 out of 10, I can tell you that. Oh, denied Konohamaru. Alright, I'll update the list. Might as well. Where are we down to? We're down to 5, 7, 6. No, 5, 7, 6. Oh my god, I've done it again already. Okay, 1 second. Un secondo. I've just done a matchup that I didn't need to. Oh, please tell me I haven't done this one before. Beans! I've done that one before, for God's sake. Sorry, excuse my language. Excuse me language. Right, let's try this again. It's Konohamaru and Sasuke. Ah, great. Fair. It also introduced a lot of characters that I've never seen again. Like the sound trio. I think it's the only time they show up and they're never seen again. What's it? Suchi, Zaku, and Dosu. I think that's the other guy. Oh my god, the fact I remember their names is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, no, it does set up a hell of a lot. Excuse me. Oh really? No, Shippuden ends except say that fight aged horribly. Yeah, no, I mean, I've never been particularly fond of even just Naruto as a character, and I just like, I don't know. I just think Neji just goes down like a punk in that one. He goes down like a sack of spuds when he shouldn't. Like, all signs point to Neji winning that fight. Short of Naruto going into tailed fox mode, short of that, like, Neji should have won that fight. I just think it's such a little, I don't know. Yeah. Also, the one thing that does, and again, it's one of those things that, like don't think about it too much, kind of thing. You just suspend your disbelief. Is surely something like the tuning exam finals, you know, would have been dealt with in a very, you know, the administration around it would have been, you know, should be top of their game. You know, we need this to be a success, so, you know, we need everything to run smoothly. So they would have gotten to the end and they would have been like, right, well no, wouldn't even started yet, and they're like, right, okay, we've got, you know, Gaara's here, great, we've got Neji here, lovely, you know, Tamara's over there, Shikamaru's great. Hang on, where the fuck's Sasuke? Where is he? Does anyone know where he is? Nope. Ah, beans, okay. Can someone just go out and find where Sasuke is? We can't really start without him. But no, they're probably just like, if he doesn't show up, he doesn't show up. We're not, you know, one of our finalists isn't here. No big deals. No big deals. And then literally there's just, you know, doesn't show up because, and I haven't seen it in a while, so I might be mixing it up with another bit, but I'm pretty sure that when it gets to that fight with Gaara, isn't there like a bit where like he's not appearing and everyone's kind of like, what the hell's going on, and is almost about to, is it like he's almost about to get disqualified and then he apparates in with Kakashi? But you'd think, as an administrator, you'd be, the village would be like, you know, they would be sending out a team to go try and track down where one of their finalists is. Plus, Kakashi's already would have disappeared. So someone like Guy and Asuma and Kurenai would have been like, hang on, where the fuck's Kakashi as well? Oh, Sasuke and Kakashi aren't here? They're probably together. You know, let's go out and ask people where Kakashi and Sasuke are. I don't know. Again, one of those things you just don't think too much about, but you think about afterwards, like, hang on, that shouldn't have happened. I didn't do the fight against Kabuto with Tachi, did I? No. I literally just went straight into this one. I need to go back and do Itachi versus Kabuto because I feel I completely skipped that fight. My brain's already gone into mush mode. Yeah. Lovely. Oh, what up? Oh, lovely. Glad you're cozy. Things are going well. Things are alright. You missed a you missed a giant recap of my conference last week. Long story short, lunch on the first day, extremely disappointing. Not a single piece of meat to be seen. Was a bit disgraceful. In fact, it's actually I'm appalled and disgusted. And frankly, they should all be ashamed of themselves. Second day, mashed potato, lamb shoulder was the best thing ever. Highlight of the conference. Fully. Alright, and it's now just fully reminded me as well. I need to update the number remaining. We're down to 14. Fabulous. Right, Jiraiya and Hiruzen. Beautiful. Oh, look at that lovely clean fight. Alright, and excuse me. That comes stronger than the Sharingan. How is he indeed? How is he indeed? It's almost like he might not be able to. Spoilers. He may never beat him. I did see I did see somewhere ages ago. I felt so sorry for this person that got absolutely ripped to shreds. They said something about how Sasuke beats Itachi in Shippuden, and I've never seen so many people correcting someone with such indiscriminate passion. Egregious use of profanity. Like, how dare you even suggest such a thing? That our boy, Mr. Itachi, how dare you even suggest that he even got beaten in a fight? Like, what? Excuse me? Because now that I think, and then now that I remember that, has Itachi ever lost a fight? He's never lost any fight in all of his appearances across all Naruto's. He's never lost a fight fully. He lost the one with Sasuke by a what's the word? not a fluke. Fluke's wrong. He lost it because he Kimimaro'd himself. You know. But yeah. Yeah. No, he did. Him and Kisame on. They're in that little bridge. Oh, not it's not a bridge, but like that little pathway by the river. And then yeah, you got. Oh, it's Kakashi, and I want to say it's Guy as well. And then Kurenai turns up as well, and they're just like even like once back in OG Naruto when the senseis are like, whoa, hold on, then you know like that person's deadly. You know that like. You know, Kakashi's, when it comes to Zabuza even, Kakashi's like, no, you kids like, no, go, I'll handle this. So you know that like, if Naruto or Sasuke had fought Zabuza, they would have been absolutely wrecked. GG. GGWP. Kakashi would have been bringing corpses back to the village. Yeah, no, and he had such a strong introduction. There was just, I think, I still don't know in my mind if Itachi was best when there was still like this air of like menace and mystery about him. You know, when he appears and you don't even see his mouth, and he appears and he's just very like, doesn't say much, doesn't do much, but just kind of appears, does his thing, and then goes. You're kind of just like, what? Like, you sort of, you know, your heart skips a beat when you see him, kind of thing. You're like, oh god, something's about to go down. And then, you know, as you learn more about him, he sort of loses that menace a little bit. Just becomes like not an average dude. He's anything but an average dude, but yeah. And then plus to that, you know, before then you thought, oh, all the Sharingan does is just copy stuff, you know, and they can just, you know, detect movements. But, you know, that's all the Sharingan can do. Like, it ain't anything super special. And then Itachi comes and he's like, there's this little old thing called the Tsukuyomi. Hey Kakashi, you wanna know what that is? I'll give it to you firsthand. And then you're just like, oh dang, okay, right, the Sharingan's cool now. Beauty. Down to third Raikage and Yankiba. complete. Yeah, where we go? Keep it there, and there's my card game. So what's the halfway point? Okay, halfway point is 5,613. So we're less than 100 from the halfway point, which is good. Yeah, because then what's going to happen is on the halfway point, I'm going to switch the voices over to English. So I'll have English voice acting for the last half of it. And probably now that I've had the brief break as well, we're actually probably due to finish mid-October now, which isn't too bad. Might actually be able to probably bring that up a little bit, because we've got the Easter break coming up shortly, in about a month's time, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's just a long weekend. Yeah, it's just a long weekend. But it means I'll be able to do longer streams of Naruto goodness, which means I'll be able to get through more peeps. Maybe you can catch up, because I am the average age in about 240 fights down. Oh, okay. There was a so in my slump, I've been looking just at stuff online, trying to get help. But I found there's a YouTube channel. It's actually a business, like an organization. But Healthy Gamer GG or something. Healthy Gamer, I think is the main thing. But anyway, there's a guy, there's a psychologist who runs it, and he does like YouTube streams and Twitch streams, but you know, psychology topics, and you know, how to help with, you know, depression or ADHD or all that sort of stuff. But he's also done heaps of things, all kinds of topics, and he even does like viewer interviews or interviews with people, and you know, they're telling him about, it's kind of like, it's not a proper therapy session, it's not meant to be a proper therapy session, but you know, it's just a way just to show people that, you know, here's what others are experiencing. But anyway, I digress. But there was one video where I think someone on the Reddit or the Discord was saying, you know, like, I feel like I don't have purpose. Or I feel empty inside, essentially. And how do I stop feeling empty or dead inside? And so anyway, this whole thing, and then right at the end he said, you know, there's a technique or a thing you can do called, it's based off like a ancient Sikh or Hindu thing called Kaya Streamer. Yeah, something. Kaya Streamer. Streamer. Kaya Streamer. Something like that, anyway. But it means like body steadiness or something. But essentially all you have to do is you close your eyes, and then for like he did it for about 5 minutes on the thing. He says for about 5 minutes you sit like completely like back straight, neck up, eyes closed on a chair, And you have to stay completely and utterly still, and like literally completely and utterly still for the next 5 minutes. So like you're sitting there, you can swallow if you need to, but you don't move your leg, you don't adjust your back, you don't move your neck, you don't scratch that itch on your cheek, you do nothing for 5 minutes. And so you start, and then suddenly your leg starts to feel a bit like restless, and your lower back starts to hurt, and there's like an itch up here that's like niggling, but you can't do anything. You just have to like essentially notice it and just like ignore it, and you have to do that for 5 minutes. And so like, I tried it, and it is difficult. It is so difficult because you just suddenly you just feel everything, like every itch, every little weird nerve twitch, like I'm like, oh god, my shoulders get really uncomfortable, but I can't move it, oh my goodness. And then you eventually you find, like, when you breathe, like breathing in and out, you're like, oh god, okay, finally I've got something for my mind to focus on that's not the uncomfort, like, the discomfort of everything else in my body right now. And it's just this really, really interesting thing, because it's probably stuff that you feel all the time, but because you can move and adjust it, you don't really pay too much attention to it, I suppose. And then when suddenly you can't address it, it's just like your body is just sending you all of these signals all of the time, and you can't do anything about it. You're just like, oh my god, it's difficult. It's so difficult. But then there's sort of like the sort of reason why you kind of introduced it, and then was the fact that you can feel these normal body signals with such intensity, like, because it's an intense discomfort. It's like, just the simple fact that you can proves that it's not literally like you are dead and like feel nothing. Like, you can feel it. And he said, if only, like, if you experienced life, if you experienced the little things like that with the same intensity, just everything would just feel more richer. If you walked outside and just felt the sun on your face, felt the wind, felt the grass, whatever, it's gonna like gets a bit, if you're not into like fluffy stuff, might be a bit too fluffy, but yeah, it's essentially just you use these like super mindfulness techniques to kind of reattune yourself to internal and external sensations, and it all does harken back to the devices and needing constant external stimulation is just sort of not necessarily deadening your senses as such, but you're not experiencing each individual thing with the intensity that you could be experiencing it with. Everything just kind of gets drowned out in the noise of everything else. But when you sort of stop and you just become fully mindful of these feelings and experiences and sensations, it's just like, whoa, it can get like, quite intense. And then there's another one I was watching about, it gets a bit existential, but like, finding purpose, like why do you kind of feel aimless, or like, what can you do when you are feeling aimless? Like, I've got no purpose, what's my purpose, why am I here, why am I doing what I'm doing? And again, it was the devices, technology, and this is all very ironic at this point in time, coming from someone who's streaming a game. All very ironic, but you know, he says, you're saying, why, you know, what is the one, you know, one of the few moments in your day, in your day-to-day, that there is no external stimulus grabbing your attention, and it's the shower. You know, when you go pee, a lot of people bring their phones in with them when they pee now. Feels weird not having your phone with you in the bathroom anymore. So, you know, that's out. Kitchen, you know, same thing. Living room, obviously you're watching TV, you're playing games, you're listening to music, you're whatever. The only time you have none of that is the shower. And then, what is the place where people seem to have these kind of like epiphany moments? The shower thoughts, so to speak, you know. So is there a correlation between you're not getting any external stimulus and you're kind of able to be fully present with yourself, and suddenly you're having these kind of like epiphany moments? You're like, oh my god, this thing now makes sense, or oh my god, how did I not realize this, or whatever. So how do we emulate that? How do we emulate that in, you know, to a greater effect? Because, you know, he said, you hear, you know, there's movies about it, you hear stories of people that go into the Himalayan mountains and they come back and they've, you know, completely changed as a person. They've found their meaning and they've found purpose, and, you know, they've achieved the feng shui and the nirvana and all this, you know, stuff. Like, why is that? And it's, you know, it's like it's a thing. And it's like, well, because they're somewhere where they're like in the quiet, middle of nowhere. There's no cell phones, there's no books, there's no nothing. It's literally you're just with yourself. And it's only when you're in that moment, that when your brain has no external stimulus to attach its attention to, it then looks inwardly last. And so when you're feeling like, you know, kind of like how I was a little bit last week, but yeah, when you feel you have to get your brain to the point where you are able to finally hear your inner voice. And so he had a couple things where you have to get to. Well, one is around like kind of like a meditation-y kind of exercise, but another one is what he called like the end of thought. Like, have to get to the end of thought. And what it means is, like, is, you know, you sit there, close your eyes, and then just let your brain run. Let your brain go. And, you know, so start thinking about things, you know, be like, yeah, well, what crap, what have I got to do to work? What have I got to do at work tomorrow? Should I have steak or chicken for dinner tomorrow? That book I was reading just before was really good. Just have thoughts, and then so slowly your thoughts will slow down, and they'll slow down, and then suddenly you'll kind of like, your brain will be like, right, I'm bored now, let's go and find something. But you can't, you've got to like push through that bit. And once you get past this intense boredom that your brain now will suddenly have, you will eventually reach the end of thought, and then everything from that point onwards, well, no, not perfectly 100% of the time, but will more or less be now like my inner voice talking. It's not my brain thinking about external things, it's purely internal. And that's where then you're gonna get like you're gonna not like suddenly find your purpose, not, you know, as profound as that, and not straight away, but you will have a better idea of what your true feelings are about certain things, what you're wanting to do, what you're finding joy in, what is not working, and all this sort of stuff. And yeah, but you just have to give yourself the time and space to get to that point. Give your brain the space to get to that point where you can start listening to your inner voice again. And then once you've found, you know, once you've talked with yourself and given yourself an idea of where you really want your life to be headed, then you can start aligning everything else in your life around that. And then you're on your way, kind of thing. You know, whereas like now you've got all these external stimuli, and what that means is you're trying to find purpose from somewhere else. You're asking other things to tell you what you should be doing and what your purpose should be. When actually that, if it's not coming from within, then of course you're gonna feel this dissatisfaction with it all. But yeah, so sorry if that's all very, very fluffy, very soul searching. It's very deep. I do apologise, but that's what I've sort of been like reading up on, that sort of stuff. There was one about like the gifted kids. You know, why do gifted kids at school struggle so much in adult life? I don't mean to brag, but well, no, it's not even something to brag about. But you know, I was a gifted kid. I was put in the emerging leaders group at primary school, and now I fully struggle where all of my peers don't. And I'm like, why the hell is this all going on? But he gave a really good breakdown of sort of the way that your brain kind of comes to work and where your brain naturally goes with situations, and the defense mechanisms your brain puts in place and all this sort of thing. And it was very like super interesting. I won't go into detail now. But yeah. But anyway, so just doing a lot of that sort of stuff. And yeah. Like part of me almost thinks in another life where I wasn't as volatile mentally, I would love to be a psychologist, like fully, like the whole just like how like your behaviors are attuned, like why you do certain things and what could be linking to it, like how your brain actually works and, you know, does things, and how that influences everything else you do. Like, it is so absolutely fascinating to me, like fully. And if I wasn't as volatile, as I said, I would love to be able to help people. You know, to help people where I can with mental health issues. Like, it would be fabulous. But I'm not in another life. I'm an IT consultant. And yeah, but it's yeah, it's just fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Maybe I'll become a life coach. Because you don't technically need any degrees to be a life coach. And kind of just anyone can call themselves one, but obviously you want some credentials behind you. But I'll be a life coach. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a lot of like in another life I would be X things. Like, I'd love to be a psychologist. I'd love to be a archivist at like a super fancy grand library. Oh, that'd be fabulous. I'd love that. Like Hundy records. Like, when they say records management in the business sense, like I mean like I'm dealing with like ancient records at the Great Library in London. You know, putting manuscripts 600 years old on the shelf in the using the Dewey Decimal System. Oh, love it. That'd be fab. And then I'd also love to be an animal, like kind of like a welfare, endangered animal welfare, helping animal people. animal conservationist, one of those sorts of things. Yeah. But then I'd get too sad if the animals had, unfortunately, had to pass. I think I'd get too sad, so actually it probably wouldn't work. Oh. Oh. That's actually pretty neat though. Yeah, it's not until you suddenly like, yeah, not unable to check your phone or unable to even just get on the internet even, you know, an extreme case sort of thing. And what, that's actually a neat story. Did you like, did you you know, the whole, you know, feeling that you could trust yourself in your decisions more, did, you know, if you can remember the feeling, did you feel like it was because, I suppose because you were more present during the day, like present mentally, because you were probably paying more attention mentally to what was going on, you kind of could recall that information way easier, and you're like, oh yeah, no, it is this. Again, probably explain that really badly, but no, but yeah. Yungabito and Yungara. Yeah, because then I think about it as well, because also one of the business things that is touted at the moment is, because it's all about distractions at the moment in the business world. They say when you get distracted from something, it takes you about like something ridiculous, like 20 minutes to like fully get your head back into the headspace of whatever you were on before. So that's why, you know, the distractions of the phones and the notifications and all that stuff is a bad thing. Because then you're spending far more time getting back on track task what you're doing than doing the task itself. Yeah, so then, you know, when you've got, you know, it's not particularly busy and you've got all that time to think, you're also able to be, because you're not getting the distractions, you're probably also like, not, I don't want to say you're more productive, I guess, but yeah. 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 No, it does. I've noticed it in myself, and I hate it. Like, I absolutely hate it. Like, I could read in my youth. I could read for very long periods of time, and I'd be reading every word. And I've noticed more and more lately that I'm reading something, and I'll have to go back and reread what I've done, because I'll be like, hang on a second, I did not retain any of that at all, and I absolutely hate that I've regressed in that capacity. So, which is why part of what I want to do is get more reading in, my day, but also try and read slow. Like, I don't know, maybe I just need to read more. But that's the thing, I read a lot normally, as part of my job, and I prefer reading. Give me a wall of text any day over a video. I'd rather read the wall of text than watch the video. But yeah, no, it definitely does encourage the short-term memory, and they call it like just the endless scroll of things like Facebook and Instagram and all that. Like, me and the boy, we've disabled our Facebook just because we only need Messenger, and Facebook just became like, we lost too many brain cells on that one. I've got Twitter, and I've sort of, I started because I thought I needed one if I, wanted to stream. And like, I know if you want to properly get big, you're supposed to, but to be honest, my goal with streaming is not to become huge. My goal is just to play games and have fun and meet cool people. But anyway, long story short, so even like Twitter, I'm like, I might just put that aside for now. We don't have Instagram. We don't. Is there any other ones? Don't have TikTok. We'll never get TikTok. But I watch a hell of a lot of YouTube, But I try and watch like long YouTube videos, and one that require a lot of mental thinking, like particle physics, quantum. I've been watching so many quantum physics videos lately. I've gone on a full-on tangent. Do apologize, but yeah, no, it is. I know exactly what you mean around that short-term memory. Yeah, because you're like, I had it the other day. Part of me feels I'm going mad. Like, do I have something like ADHD, or am I just developing early onset Alzheimer's? Because I came back from work. I took my laptop bag out of the car. I then, had it on the couch. I ended up putting something on something in my bag, like a piece of paper or something to bring to work the next day. And then literally as soon as I'd done that, I then went outside to go grab my bag out of the car, because I thought I'd left it in the car, when literally like 10 seconds before I just put something in it and it was on the couch. Like, I'm like, I feel like something's wrong here. I feel like something's not quite right. Yeah, I've got a memory of an absolute goldfish at the moment. And it's causing a lot of stress. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what, yeah. Always the dilemma with plot heavy games. And especially when you're like, because the other thing too is when you're like good 70% in as well, and you're like, I really don't know what's going on, and I'm right at the end when all the heavy plot stuff is happening anyway, so you're like, I really don't want to start, but I feel like I need to. Yeah. Naruto Rasen and Young Tamari. Because then the other thing too, as well, is so because me and the boy at the moment, we're sort of asking ourselves the question: do we live extremely boring lives? Like, are we just boring people? And I don't mean that in like a oh woe is me, no one loves me kind of, you know, everyone thinks we're boring kind of thing. But like, in terms of what we do, we come home, we have the same routine after work every single day. We come home, have a shower, make tea, we sit and watch memes on YouTube, meme compilations on YouTube while we're having dinner. You know, we do all, and then we have ice cream. We have to have ice cream after dinner, and we just like there's a routine. And on the weekends, we're like so mentally exhausted from the week at work, so we just play games, and maybe go out into town like a couple of times, but like that's it. And so we're just like, are we just boring? Like, because you know, and then you had the dreaded, oh, so what did you guys do on the weekend? Well, how was your weekend? It's like, just play games, didn't do much, and it's just that every single week. And it's like, I need to get out and do something. But then I'm thinking at the same time, I also feel like it's weird. I'm like in this weird thing where I feel like I don't do much, but then I also just have this weird, the hell is that? Bloody hell, sorry. It's felt this like huge thumping bass, like almost like reverberating the room. Something. Anyway, I just feel like I'm constantly having to rush through things because I've got so much to do, but then I don't have anything to do. It's weird. Like it's this odd thing that's going on. Odd thing. Because then our other problem is that, you know, we're not party people. We don't go out to clubs. We do, you know, going to somewhere where people, going to a party where people are getting drunk. Like, no, we're good. We're good. We're good, thanks. Like all of this sort of stuff. It's like we enjoy just chilling in our own space, playing games and just doing our own thing. But then we now feel like we're boring because of it, and we need to spice up our life somehow. I have said there is a murder mystery dinner in October that I've said we're definitely going to go to. But yeah, it's just this. Like I don't know. I don't know if when do people in their late 20s go through like a period of time where they're having like a early midlife crisis. We're kind of just discovering what I am, what we are, what we want the rest of our lives to be. Yeah. We're going through a lot of existential stuff lately. So thinking about the big questions. Yeah, and I've now got a report on my phone that every Monday gives me basically like, you used your phone 30 minutes more than last week, or you used your phone 12 minutes less than last week, or whatever. And so I'm trying to slowly whittle down my phone usage. I mean, I don't really call anyone. We only really use it for email messages when I'm on the go, and texts and messenger, and that's about it really. And then a little Sudoku app when I'm just chilling something. But yeah, I'm just trying to like just find little ways of reducing the little distractions. Yeah. And then the other thing too, which I'm trying so desperately to do, and I don't know if you've got any tips for this, whether it's like applicable, is the problem I have, the strange dichotomy I have with turning off notifications on my phone and not checking your emails on a Saturday, all that sort of stuff, is I would love to be able to do it. And I've turned off my email notifications over the weekend, so I don't get any on Saturdays and Sundays. But I just suddenly now have this anxiety that something big is going on and I'm missing it. Like someone has urgently emailed me something and I'm not seeing it. And of course I'm not going to respond. And now I'm letting them down. If I let them down, then I'm letting the client down. If I'm letting the client down, then I'm letting my business down. Then if I let my business down, then they'll be like, right, laters. There's the door. So it's just like there's like this weird cyclical, you know, or spiraling down sort of thought process, all because I've turned my phone notifications off. You know, when I'm not checking emails, it's stuff that I'm you know, I could be walking into a fire the next day at work, but I've got no idea because I'm not checking my notifications. It's like this. If I had the notifications on, then I'm constantly anxious about the messages I do get, and then I'm now thinking about it, what I've got to do for work the next day. But then when I turn them off, I'm equally anxious, sometimes even more so, because now I don't know what's going on, and I could, you know, something major could be going on and I've got no idea until a fire. And it's just this, it's just a cycle. It really is. Part of me is wondering, do I go to a job where at the end of my shift, I'm like, I can just go home and switch my brain off, because it's the kind of job where I don't need to worry about what's going on when I'm not at work, because I've got no responsibilities as soon as I walk out that door. There's nothing I've got no responsibility for. And I come in and I just pick up either someone that's on the previous shift from me, or, you know, it's just it's not like work that I need to carry on, you know, follow through on day by day. It's just I just take the day as it comes. Like, is that sort of work what I need? You know, the work I'm at the moment, when you're on, it's really like project work. You know, I'm a consultant, but it's really, I'm just on project after project. But because they're big projects, and in some instances they are extremely important projects, in the sense that if I do something wrong, I could be potentially costing a business thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. I have the potential to bring a business to its knees if I F up. That sort of thing. So I'm like, yeah, do I even want that? Yeah. Oh my goodness, you get it too? It's not just me then? I get that so often. And I think I can hear it vibrating as well. Yeah, you check, it's absolutely nothing. Oh, now that I think about it, and because I know how nefarious some tech companies can be, what if that's actually, like, it's literally vibrating, but for no reason, just to get you to check it? Oh my goodness. What if that... Oh my gosh, I think I've unveiled a conspiracy. Because now I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case now. Oh goodness. But yeah, no, it's like, I definitely don't use my phone as much as I would like to say people my age. I think. I play far more video games than a lot of people my age, but which is probably just the same problem, different screen, I guess. Yeah. But then the other flip side to all of this as well is that the world has now been built to, you need to be checking this, because otherwise you can't do anything else. Like, you can't, I don't know, eventually, it's not fully digital, but, you know, there will be a point in time where, sorry, there's no such thing as a phone book anymore. You've got to check your phone if you want to know someone's number. There's no such thing as magazines that get anything, letters that get put in your mail. Nothing of the sort. It's all, you've got to check it on your phone or your computer or whatever. So it's just like, as much as you want to unplug, you also can't fully unplug because your life is now dependent on what you can get on the screen. So it's just it's a nefarious cycle, I swear. I swear. But yeah, but I would love nothing more than just to spend 2 weeks, no, not even 2 weeks, 2 months, in the middle of sweet nowhere, on a resort, and just be between jobs. There's nothing like being between jobs, and you've literally got no work responsibilities at all, forever. Oh my lord, what it is. I had 5 weeks between the job I'm currently at and my last job. About 5 weeks in between. Oh, sweet bliss. Oh, sweet another bliss. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, so throwing all of, like, you know, adding even more fuel to my fire, but adding more fuel to all of it as well is, you know, as much as I do love the work that I do in my job and the team of people I'm with. I'm not even exaggerating when I say I genuinely don't think I will ever work in a team as good and one I get along with, so as well as the team I'm in now, and even just the whole business. Like, there's only about 20 people in the company. It's a small business, but I get along with like every single one of them. Like, not even kidding. Everyone is just so lovely to each other. So I would never want to leave because of that reason, but then I'm thinking, for me, at this point in time, and with the state I'm in, is a job where I can literally leave my brain at the door when I walk out, or leave my responsibilities at the door. Is that the job I need at this point in time in my life? But then I know deep down that if I left my job, I would get over my slump, or my existential crisis, and I would fully regret leaving. Oh goodness, oh, the struggles of life that you are just completely blissfully unaware exist when you're younger. Life is just so much easier as a kid. Yes. Yes. I think Cold, like Trails of Cold Steel and maybe East, I guess, are probably the first things I've gotten into in a long time. Like, a long time. Like Final Fantasy, Zelda, Dragon Quest, Elder Scrolls, they're all games that I played when I was younger, and I was like, hype. And I will still be hype for them. But it's, yeah, and because I felt like there was a point in time where I'm like, I've lost all joy in life. Do I have depression? Because I no longer feel joy. But I'm like, no, I think it's just been, now that I've got more responsibilities in my adult life, it's not that I don't feel joy, it's just I don't have the mental bandwidth to fully experience the joy I feel, like as fully and unrestrained as I did when I was a kid. You know, I'm hyper than hype for FF16. So it's not that I don't feel joy, but it's just, yeah, it's this yeah, but no, I'm like, I always remember my dad saying, like, when I was a kid playing, would have been like, maybe like 12, and there was like, we went to this comic shop and there was a, I can't remember what Final Fantasy it was. It was a, might have been a was it a Tifa or a Cloud action figure? But anyway, so I asked Dad if I can get it. He's like, no, we don't buy you action figures because you'll get, you'll grow out of that. You'll, out of that. I'm like, oh, grow out of Final Fantasy, Dad, you don't understand. I will always love it. He's like, no, you'll grow out of it eventually. I'm like, 15 years later, I'm still in I'm even more in love with it than I was back then. But yeah, I suppose that's a unique case. But yeah. Oh, and Sevo, what up? Yeah, it's I mean, everyone was raving about. Oh my god, you have to play Constantine. I'm like, I reckon like I'll enjoy it, sure, but it's, and I'm not expecting a miracle here. Neck minute. Neck minute, I'm sitting there going, god damn, I'm so excited to like do the next little bits of Cold Steel 2. Yeah. No, it's I just really, really hope that it kind of, you reach a point in your adult life where you can now suddenly, maybe it's a thing about being in your 20s. Maybe it's your 20s is where you've reached your adult point. You're building the foundations of your life, and now you're kind of second guessing what foundation you've laid. You're second guessing, okay, alright, I've done all my social training, I've done all that sort of stuff. Now who am I actually fully? And who am I going to live the second half of my life as? And maybe you go through that existential crisis, and then in your 30s it all kind of irons itself out a little bit, and then you can sort of experience that joy and happiness again. Maybe. I hope. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, no. The internet, like, I'm almost like, especially when it comes to video games, because when it comes to films, I've kind of like lost all interest in movies, just in general. I don't think there's any film that's come out in the last 5-6 years. Maybe Endgame was probably the last film I ever remember being actually genuinely excited for it coming out. I've enjoyed movies since then, but I've just kind of just like going to watch a movie or going to see a movie or even a TV show, just completely just no motivation at all, no desire whatsoever. And I don't want, and it's like when it comes to video games and the discourse online about a video game, I just want to just avoid it as much as possible, because I've seen already some, like, take any game, ones that you're super hyped about, and you will find so many people telling you why you are rubbish and so stupid for liking or being hyped for a particular game. Oh, there's no point pre-ordering, there's no point buying it day one because it's just going to be rubbish. Oh, they're just going to be doing day one patches. Oh, why are you getting hyped for something? This ex-developer always, like, never delivers properly. And it's just like, oh, well, what's the point then? So I'm just like, I just want to just be hype over in my corner for something just because it looks cool. It's, it's maybe a franchise that I love and I want to keep loving, so I just keep the hype for me going and just don't even think about what anyone else is saying about it, just because you'll just find more people disliking it than liking it. Yeah. 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 And then, like, yeah, you'll play the game or watch the film, and then people are like, oh my god, this is the greatest episode of TV history ever. And I'm just like, It's alright. Like my dad, my dad, he's very, I'll say he's quite passionate about TV shows and films, more so than video games now, but, you know, the amount, if I had a penny for every time, he'd be like, oh my god, have you seen this? Have you watched The Last of Us TV show? Have you seen Game of Thrones? Have you seen Breaking Bad? Have you seen Better Call Saul? Have you seen all these things? I'm like, no. And he's like, oh my goodness. Why have you not seen this? Oh my god, you're wasting your life. And I'm just like, I wouldn't say they're bad. Just meh. 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 And it's, yeah, and I'm sure though, back in my early days when I was utterly obsessed with like all these TV shows, I'm sure I would have been utterly obsessed with those ones, but just don't care for them anymore. Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting that it's interesting you say that. Sorry, my words are getting all jumbled up today. Because, like, in my heart of hearts, I know that the internet is good. The internet has probably been one of the biggest forces for good, you could say, in civilization so far. But I think because negativity sells, that's why it might, and also might just be the kinds of stuff that I'm getting personalized ads for, whatever. But I personally see a lot of negativity around things. People constantly complaining. Someone puts up a question, and then suddenly someone launches into why they're bad for even positing the question. It just wears you down, like, fully. You're just like, what's even the point in any of this, like, for God's sake. But then, like, I know that conflict, like a source of conflict, is a driver and a motivator for a lot of people to keep going on to something. So that's why it's sort of being pushed. But I do think that it is so important that we, yeah, I don't know, the internet's one of those things where, as much as I believe that it should be a Wild West, and it should be not necessarily unregulated, because as soon as you get full unregulation, then you get into nightmare territory. But I do think that as soon as the internet gets curated, that's when I think you run into a problem. Yeah. Yeah, but no, Last of Us. Yeah, I heard the same thing. The stuff I heard about The Last of Us is like, this is the utter pinnacle of video games. Anything else is a downgrade compared to this game. This is the be all and end all of video game perfection. And full disclosure, I've never played it. I'm not one for zombie games. I'm not particularly fond of zombie games, or even just the zombie genre. So subject matter wise, it doesn't interest me. I've seen all the story stuff, so I know what happens and all that, and I'm like, and did I like miss a cutscene or something? Cause this is alright. Like, I think, and I purely chalk it down just to the sort of things I'm interested in, the kinds of stories I'm interested in. It's just a story that you know, doesn't particularly appeal. You know, FF7 and FF10 to me are like, you know, absolute masterpieces of storytelling compared to The Last of Us, but then other people will see it the opposite way. And that's just purely what the kinds of stories and kinds of drama sort of scenarios that we're each individually into. So neither one's right or wrong. Like, at the end of the day, if you think The Last of Us can cure cancer, sure, go for it. by all means. I think the Final Fantasy X can cure cancer as well. Neither of it, and I think the thing that people can never, the thing where the point of where it all falls apart is as soon as someone needs to prove why the other's wrong. Like, you can have debates about things, all good, but it's just when it comes from this need to have my thing be better than yours, and that's just where it all just goes absolute south from there. And that's when I just lose all interest in the discourse. Yeah. 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 Never have I. Yeah. Yeah, and then when they're like, it was I guess you're just like, oh, okay. But wasn't it so cool that this bit, and they're like, oh, I wasn't really feeling that bit. You're just like, oh, no, why do you wound me so? But, yeah, I mean, I think the boy doesn't mind me hyping about Final Fantasy. I mean, Final Fantasy isn't a series he has any real interest in playing. Although I think he's kind of a little bit semi-interested in FF16. Again, purely because of the subject matter and the sort of tone that they're going for compared to the others. So he doesn't really mind it when, as I did like a couple of nights ago, go in this huge like hyped explanation of all the final bosses and all the Final Fantasy games. Yeah. But, you know, I know that if I hyped up FF10 to him and said how it is an absolute masterclass in storytelling, he would play it, he'd be like, I'm not digging this. Yeah. Oh, but what up? Oh, you're almost done with Traz. Oh, nice. Are you, well, I don't even need to guess. I imagine you're going straight on to the second chapter, and then third after that. So is the yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my lordy, this lady is just going Hyundai. Ooh. Nice. I am proud of you. I remember getting to that bit and I'm like, hang on, wait, what the hell am I supposed to be doing right now? Like, what? I think I managed to do it on a fluke. I don't even know how I did it. I don't even know what I was doing. But no, but that is an achievement, Bull. That is an achievement. Okay, and I'll make this, what's the time? Yeah, I'll make this the last fight of today as well. Oh my goodness. Oh, we've got Monara Sage and Obito. So whereabouts in FF7 did you land though at the end of your last stream? Because is the submarine bit the first huge materia thing that you've done? Because I'm pretty sure when it gets to, like, because there's a submarine bit and there's a few others where you're getting the huge materia. I can't remember if you have to do it in a specific order or not. Oh, you've got 3 of them. Oh, yeah. You'll have done the submarine. You'll have done the bit in Coral on the train, or like on the little cart thing. Yeah, and then the Fort Condor one with Phoenix. And then where's the? I was trying to remember where the 4th one is. The 4th one is in. Actually, no. Oh no, I think. Yeah, no. There's one. Have you done a train thing? Because if you have, then I won't say where the 4th one is. But you haven't done the train. Oh yeah, you did. Okay, right. I think I know where the fourth one is. Yeah, but I won't say. Yeah. Okay, I think, and I could be wrong. In fact, I might even just fact check myself. It's at one of the Maka reactors somewhere. I think it's in. Oh god, where is it? Is it a Maka reactor in? Oh god, is it? Because there's like a little passcode thing that you're meant to do. So it's not the underwater reactor. Hang on. Un secondo. Where are we? For Condor, bottom scene Junon, you got that one. Oh no, I lie. No, I lie, sorry. The reactor one's the coral one. What am I on about? Okay, last one. Oh, hang on. Oh, the final huge materium, the Shinra rocket in Rocket Town. So then it's green, yellow, red. Yeah. Yeah. Now there's another, so there is okay. Oh, right. Okay, so there is, I think there is a fifth one. I think there's a fifth one that you can get. And it's, is a fifth one you can get in the Nibble reactor, and I think that's the reactor I was probably thinking about. And you can't get it if you didn't get in, if you missed any of the other, if you missed the coral or the underwater one or the Fort Condor one, then you can't get the Nibble reactor one. Oh, hang on, wow, I'm so confused. Or hang on, hold on. This is, it's given me a runaround. It's telling me there's 5, but it's also telling me there's 4. So okay, no, never mind. There isn't. There's the 4. So there's, yeah, the Fort Condor, the coral reactor, the underwater one, and then there's the one that you'll get from the rocket. And then for Bahamut, which I'm pretty sure when I did this as well, I've got it. Hang on. Again, un secondo. If Cloud has both the Bahamut and Neo Bahamut summon materia, he will receive the Bahamut Zero materia through the blue huge materia, which I think is the last one that you'll get. If you didn't get the blue huge materia, then Bahamut Zero can be excavated from Bone Village. So you can only get it if you've got the Bahamut and Neo Bahamut summons. Oh, hang on. Yes, I think. So as long as you've got the other 2 Bahamut summons, you'll be fine. already did this fight just now. I don't feel like I did. Lovely. Okay, right, I think that is that. I'll call it a day there. So, what fight did we get to? We got to 6. Oh, lovely. Okay, hang on. We got to 5. 6, 6, 8. Fabulous. Fabulous indeedy. Alright. Like I said, I will call day. I am most definitely doing East tomorrow. Most definitely. I'm excited. I'm excited for Trails of Cold Steel 2 on Saturday. And then I've got day 73 of this, where we will definitely reach the halfway point. And then I'm gonna probably won't flip to English voice acting then and there once I reach halfway, but for day 74, we're gonna start with English voice acting. Alright. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining. Apologies for having a brief MIA, but I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. That's all I'll say. Oh no, English voice acting for Naruto. I've decided I'm gonna flick once I hit the halfway point. I'm gonna flick the voices from Japanese to English, just for the last half. Yeah, I've forgotten what they've all sounded like in English there. but anyway, as I said, I'll call day. I will catch y'all tomorrow or whenever I catch you next. Yeah, stay well, stay fruity fresh, stay fabulous, stay rested, stay safe, stay hydrated. I'll see you all later. Bye.